look as good as it can look, and I know over the future it's going to continue to improve and it's going to get better and better and hopefully be an important part of the community. So we'll just continue looking for opportunities to give back to the community. Really excited to go out today. I do want to remind everybody from Phillips 66 that we have matching volunteer hours, so we can submit our hours and then get cash that we can then donate to organizations that are partnering with us today. But really happy to be here, and then great turnout, and excited to get to work and figure out what we need to do. So, thank you.
Great, thank you. So I just want to introduce a number of partners that many of us at Phillips 66 don't know. We have the City of Linden here. Joe Krobach's in the back. Joe has been very active in this whole project. We've been engaged in this since 2015, 16, getting the idea off the ground, getting it constructed, and then it evolved into the Blue Acres project that has been winning awards. I also want to introduce, that's it, I'm looking for him, Councilman Strano. This is the councilman for this ward. He also was instrumental in communicating with the community what we want to do here, why it's valuable. Some years ago we had a community meeting, and that's what all these panels are about. We tried to educate what a rain garden is, what it looks like through the seasons, why it's valuable. We talked about all the planning of the Blue Acres so that the community was engaged and supported us. So they're here for you to look at. We're not doing a big presentation on that. I want to thank Joe's crew. We have a number of the DPW crew. Shane, I'm going to forget already. Rich and Anthony are here. They're really great to help us. I also want to give a shout out to Ed Blanner. Ed Blanner's in the bright orange shirt in the back. He is the CEO of Enviroscapes. They are the ecological restoration contractor that has put in almost 5,000 trees you'll see in the shrubs and plugs, and the 5 rain gardens that we're going to be working on. Who am I missing? No. Next up is our City of Linden, Peter Brown. Where are you, Peter? Peter is the new chair of the Linden Environment Committee, so we're looking forward to doing a lot more events like this with him and his environmental committee. He's a former councilman, so he's real familiar with Linden and all of its needs, and so that'll be great going forward. I also want to bring up Executive Director David Wheeler. Come on up, I'll stay 6 feet away. David is with Conserve Wildlife of New Jersey, and I want him to give a little update about the value of the rain gardens. There have been a partner with Phillips for other projects such as our Falcon Cam and live shows with the Linden schools. But I thought it would be great for him to talk a little bit about Conserve Wildlife, because they are actively going to be doing studies in the rain gardens as a result of our Phillips 66 continued grant programming. And they are designated as one of our charities. So your work efforts today, and there is a handout that you can pick up through our new Benevity system. Every hour of your work, you can choose Conserve Wildlife because they're a partner today. And they will receive some financial support for all of their efforts. So, David, I'll let you take that over.
Sure, and I'll keep it quick. Conserve Wildlife Foundation is a nonprofit that works to protect rare wildlife all around the state. And one of the most rewarding parts about that is seeing species come back in an area where we previously lost them. So this area around Linden has been one of the shining examples of that around the state. The fact that in this densely populated area, we have bald eagles again that have returned. We have peregrine falcons, the fastest animal on earth, nesting nearby that we can watch on the webcam. We have ospreys again that we're seeing along the coast. And so our organization is now, with the support of Phillips 66, not only working in schools and giving nature programming throughout the schools, but also working here on site, joining Ed and Enviroscapes in conducting wildlife surveys, restoring habitat, and ultimately removing invasive species, and ultimately doing what we can to give nature a fighting chance, because ultimately it not only benefits nature, which is nice in its own right, but it benefits everyone living in the communities around it. It benefits our health, and it benefits our quality of life, and really our spirit to be able to go outside and enjoy nature, particularly this time of year. The weather today notwithstanding, any other day this week, it'll be great out there, I guarantee you. But no, I thank you so much for everything you're doing today, and I thank Phillips 66 for leading the way in this, so thanks, Nancy.
Great. Joe, do you want to come up and talk about the work areas at all, the map?
Oh, okay.
Is everybody remote for Joe?
Pardon?
I'm gonna come up with Joe.
Good, please do.
And the only reason why I'm gonna stand up here with Joe is because, not because I'm a councilman or I'm looking for any accolades myself, but everybody that's here has to know that he is the key person, the keystone for this whole project. Joe is our senior engineer. His predecessor, Jeff Sias, was very environmental, and Joe, basically, he came in after Jeff left, right? Joe used to be a neighbor, he's lived across the street from me, and he knows this area really well. He's a Linden guy, he's been here all your life, right? And he's got roots here, literally, you know, we talk about planting, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that when was the Rutgers grant that came through, right? And between Joe as a key person and Phil 66 with Nancy putting this all together, that's why, through their efforts, it's why we're here. I just want to say thank you to both of you. It makes me look good. Not to everybody, but most people. That's an inside joke. But I appreciate it. I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, first off, on behalf of Mayor Derek Armstead, the City of Linden, City Council President Michelle Yamakaitis, and all our councilmen, especially Councilman Strano of this area, we welcome you here today. Thanks for coming out. The areas that we're going to work in, this is called Memorial Park. We have multiple baseball fields. There's softball tournaments over the weekends, active area. All our rain gardens are within the confines of Memorial Park here. And a few blocks down, we have the Blue Acres property. After Hurricane Sandy, we went to the state for their Blue Acres program to buy out homes that were flooded out to get people out of harm's way. So we had people that did take part in the program, and part of the Blue Acres program is the house is demolished, footings, foundations are all removed, the properties are graded and seeded. And part of the deal is the state owns that property. However, the city signs an agreement that we're going to maintain the property, that we're going to cut the grass, and nothing can ever be built on these properties. Okay. Interesting thing, when those properties 70 years ago were wetlands. And back in the 60s and late 50s, before all your environmental rules and regulations, a builder could just come in and fill in wetlands and build. And that's what they did. And that's why those people were sitting in harm's way. They were in a flood zone. So part of this Blue Acres program, so far the state has 700 Blue Acres properties, I believe. And throughout the state, Woodbridge and Sayreville are big areas where they bought the houses. But this project here, with the Rutgers and Phillips 66, we received a grant from the National Fish and Wildlife to study the floodplain of Marsh's Creek, not Morse's Creek, but Marsh's Creek, where those homes were. And there was money available from that grant, where through the efforts of Princeton Hydro, which was the designer of the restoration areas of those Blue Acres properties, and the persistence of Nancy Sadlon from Phillips, that we petitioned the DEP to do a restoration project on those Blue Acres properties. It was the first of its kind in the entire state. So out of all the towns and all the properties throughout the state of New Jersey that were purchased by the Blue Acres program to take people out of harm's way, all the other towns just have a grass field, okay? In Linden, the DEP gave us permits, and it was a tough fight. All the plants that were put in are native to this particular area, not just native to New Jersey. They had to be native to Union County, to this easterly portion of the county. And that's where Enviroscapes came in and planted. They did a wetlands restoration project. They did an upland restoration project. It's the first of its kind in the state. Unfortunately, when people drive down the turnpike, they see the big stacks and don't understand what a refinery is or the
Cloud maker.
right the DEP rules and regulations that they have to follow. All they see is, oh, Linden or the Turnpike in New Jersey, the Armpit, or what have you. But in Linden, we have these Blue Acres properties. We have beautiful parks. At our abandoned landfill, at our closed landfill, we have Hawk Rise, run by the Autobahn Society. It's a hidden gem. There's walking paths. Now, we just put we leased to a developer. We have solar power on top of the landfill now, 5 megawatts of solar panels on top of the landfill. So we're starting to ramp up speed here towards the environment in Linden. And there's a lot of positive things going on, and the DEP looks positive upon Linden and what's going on in this town. So primarily the work I gotta circle back to where I'm going here.
I'm gonna give you the hook, Jeff.
Yeah. In the rain gardens, we're gonna be working inside, and through the direction of Enviroscapes, he'll advise what to cut down. And most of the work in the Blue Acres properties is gonna be picking up trash, things like that. There's certain areas that don't get cut. There's areas that do get cut. We have our DPW crews here to assist with some weed whackers and such, and we have supplies as well. At this time, I'd like to, if I can,
please.
I'd like to introduce our mayor, Mayor Derek Armstead. Come out there, say a few words.
What else is there to say after that presentation? Listen, we always say leave it to Linden. I mean, I think we're at the forefront of a lot of good things in our town. And like Joe mentioned earlier, our town was primarily known for smokestacks, oil refineries, and manufacturing. A lot of these manufacturers came to town, like GAF and DuPont. They left us with contaminated land. But what we're trying to do is restore some of the land back to its original shape, and we believe that we can reduce the carbon footprint here in our town, and that's our objective right now. As Joe mentioned, we have solar panels on our landfill. Okay, we are restoring Blue Acres. I mean, this is all good stuff in Linden, and we're going to continue to be known as a green town. Everybody says I'm the first African-American mayor. I thought I'm the first green mayor in Linden. So thank you all for coming out. We really appreciate it. And again, we are really the stewards of this planet. This is Earth Day, and it's really a big day. Some people may not think it's a big day, but it's really a big day because we've got to leave this planet for our children and our children's children, for generations to come. This is all we got. I mean, unless you guys want to colonize Mars. Okay, so. But I'm staying here, okay?
I just wanted to say 2 words, Mayor, interrupt you. Derek Armstead and I, Mayor Armstead and I, go way back to the early 90s in our political careers. But this is home base for Derek.
It really is. I mean, this Trimley Point, when my grandparents came to Linden in 1926, they moved on Southwood Avenue. So we're very familiar with this portion of town. My father was a letter carrier right here in Trimley Point for some 30 years. So he knew everybody down here. So this area down here, we're no stranger to this area. We're deeply rooted down here, and we really would like to see it nice and keep it nice. And so again, we appreciate all the volunteers that we have here today to try to keep Linden green. All right? Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor.
afternoon, everyone. This is Mayor
So
Armstead.
basically,
Today
this
we are
one's
here
not
in
a bad-
Tremley
this is a
Point
good example.
with Phillips 66. We are
We can, some of the
trying
stuff
to
that's
do a little
already
work
there,
on our rain gardens that we have in town here. Today is Earth Day, and this is our effort to try to continue to make our Earth livable and sustainable for future generations to come.
It's been a great day today. We had over 22 Phillips 66 volunteers. This is Volunteer Month. I think a lot of people know April is Volunteer Month, and our company is very, very big about good energy. We really encourage our employees to volunteer. We are committed to the city of Linden, and this particular project, this Blue Acres project, the first of its kind in the state, is making a difference on how we can manage public properties, how we can return the floodplain function, and how wildlife will benefit. So we're really thrilled to have been part of this project, its construction, and now we're back here to help maintain it. So I want to thank everybody. The partnership with the city is just fantastic, and we'll be back to keep maintaining this great environment. Thanks.
I'm Rich, this is Ant. We're from the Buildings and Grounds Department, City of Linden. We're here in Tremley Point at the Blue Acre properties that stretches a couple of blocks of the neighborhood. We're cleaning up trash, debris, doing some routine maintenance. It's Earth Day. It's really nice to get out and celebrate by cleaning up the community and making it look a lot better.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joe Kroback with the Linden Engineering Department. We're out here today on Earth Day, cleaning up our environment. We're currently standing in the Madison Avenue section of the Tremley Point in Linden. This is where once stood homes that were damaged in Hurricane Sandy, and they became part of the Blue Acres properties, where the state of New Jersey bought the homes out to take people out of harm's way. And luckily, through some funding from the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, we were able to do a wetlands restoration project in this area, where we've planted natural plants or species of plants that were indigenous to this area, and to bring it back to what it was 50 or more years ago. We have crews out doing cleanup. We're taking down some silt fencing, picking up debris, and trying to make this a better place. Right now, This is home to a good amount of deer in the area that are here. There's plenty of wildlife. As you can see, there are some brush piles that were left. That's left behind for smaller animals to take shelter, for snakes, rabbits, birds, bringing back more nature to this area. So we're fortunate to have a non-rainy day here in April. A little cool out today, but it's good for some work in the outdoors. So thank you all for coming, and we hope to make Linden a greener place. Thank you.